Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new series, Mad About Mini Paper Pads. So the point of this is to use up your small papers. So I've pulled out my small papers. They live in this plastic bin. Now I honestly don't remember if this is a true fridge bin or it came from Target. I don't remember, but this is the one that I use. It holds my 6x6 and 6x8, and my 8x8s are over here as well, perfectly. This is the only space that holds these papers, so I have I have a fistful of space to open, to use. Now, I just wanted to flip through and kind of share what I had going on here. Just so you can see where I'm coming from and what I am going to be working with. So all of these, through here, these are all Brutus Monroe. So look, I mean, that's a hunk, guys. That is a serious hunk of paper. I am on the Brutus Monroe design team, so I do get some product, and then I buy product. This one I bought, like, I think most of these I have purchased. This one I got being on the design team. This one I got being on the design team. I've purchased Playful Plaid like 12 times, a ridiculous amount of times. So I find papers that that work for me and that I can use over and over again. I don't mind buying them over and over and over again. So like I said, Playful Plaid has been one I've bought a ton. So those are my Brutus Monroe ones, and then we get into, I'm going to take these out. Then we get into some other papers, and these are, I think these are like papers that I picked up at a retreat, and there's some P13 papers in here. There's like some Echo Park and Cartabella. These were organized kind of by theme and kind of by color, but it's you know, it's gotten out of that organization. Another travel one, then some, we're back into color. These are all pinks and blues and greens. Some My Mind's Eye, Lost in Neverland, this is Cool Kid or something like that. More My Mind's Eye, more Echo Park, some fancy papers here. Got this gorgeousness from My Mind's Eye, Home Again. I've got these kind of die cut papers. This is like the 4th or 5th time I bought the Slimline Rainbow paper pad from Brutus Monroe, or paper collection. It's for Slimline cards, but I find it really easy to use. Bought that a bunch of times. My Round Trip paper pad, which I don't think I've actually used any paper out of that yet. Some Traveler notebook pieces from Gossamer Blue. This was when I was bound and determined to actually use a Traveler's notebook. I never have. I used it as like a planner for a little bit, but I moved on to a happy planner. So these are in here. There's also random 6x8 pages out of paper pads that I still have left. Like this is from Chamel, Vicky Boutin, some My Mind's Eye 6x8 paper pads, some more Vicky Boutin, more My Mind's Eye. So, oh, this is, whoops, that kind of got shoved in there. Simple Stories. So just 6x8 papers that are left from paper pads that I used to have. Now, these ones over here, some of these are from Gossamer Blue. I got some Pretty Little Studio Transparency, some Echo Park, and those. So these are also papers that I have. So these are what I have to work with. These are my small papers. So if we took the Brutus Monroe stuff out, that's not a lot of paper, right? Like that's not a lot left of what I have. So that makes me happy. I would have had even less, but I recently bought a couple of these, and I got an Echo Park Warehouse box and got a couple more paper pads. So there's definitely things in here that I've put in here and haven't even opened, which, you know, is a problem, but I've got space. So that's where I am with this. So those are my papers. I don't know what I'm scrapbooking yet. I don't know what papers I'm going to use yet. I'm definitely going to be using a 12 by 12 as a background. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so now that we have gone and had a look through at my small papers, I went ahead and pulled some papers that I liked. I also pulled some 3x4 cards. So I feel like this is kind of like a bonus, right? My first layout for the series, and I'm already like getting bonus, extra credit. At least that's how it feels to me. Now, I did decide that I was going to incorporate black into this layout. This is something that I have done before, and I really like the look of it. It's not something that I do on a regular basis, but every once in a while I feel like this is a good addition to my albums with the way that the layout looks. So I am going to matte everything on black cardstock. Everything. And if that is not your jam, if black cardstock is not your jam whatsoever, then I completely do understand, and you're not going to want to do this. But black cardstock is my jam. Now, I will tell you guys that I do buy cheaper black cardstock. I don't spend the money. I buy my big box store cardstock for black and white 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I found that that gives me the most bang for my buck. For use of matting things and of the like. So that's what I do. Now, I have trimmed down these papers. I'm not really measuring them. I just kind of trim them down, and I'm going to make it work. So this is something that I do with my lovely leftovers, which are, you know, my scraps. And I say scraps in quotes because you and I both know that scraps are not my friend or my favorite. So I'm going to go ahead and trim all of these bad boys down. We're going to get them all matted on the black cardstock. Now, when I was originally choosing colors, I first picked out this large plaid paper, right? Like that's going to be my grounding piece. That's going to be the piece where all of the colors coordinate to it. So as I was flipping through my papers, I got colors that coordinated. And then I went to my 3x4 cards, and one of the cards I wanted to use had purple. And there's no purple, so I had to bring in more purple so that it would feel cohesive. Now, I say that, and also there have been times where I just add that shock of color to my layout because I think it gives it an extra pop. I didn't want that with this layout because I knew I was going to have so much pop because everything was matted in the black cardstock. Everything has a bam in your face kind of feel to it. Each piece does because it has that layer of black cardstock around it. So, like I said, didn't need that extra shock. So this card right here says things like smiles, friends, food, and sunshine. And that is completely true for this photo. This is a photo of my feet, my cankles to be exact. This is a photo from the very first and so far only Scrapping Reflections retreat that I held. And then this is where I'm trying to figure out where to overlap this card on the photo. And then I'm like, I put my photo on upside down. What am I doing? So eventually the photo gets righted, and I'm going to figure out how to bring in some purple into this layout so it doesn't just have this little shock of purple right here, over here on the card. So, makes sense to me. It makes me ridiculously happy how I figured this out. I love the different layers of color. I love the black border. I even love the white space that I end up keeping down here on the bottom right-hand corner. So I pull out those tiny little thicker type things, thicker stickers. They're like tiny little thicker stickers. I like saying thicker stickers too, in case you didn't notice that. I I do. I enjoy saying thicker stickers. It's just fun to say, you guys. It's just fun to say. So anyway, I spell out the word Cankles. It looks like Cankles for a minute until I go ahead and get the little piece of that E done. So there is that. You know, it's just the way it is. So kind of lost my thoughts there. Now, this was a card that I cut out, and I do cut it out in a funky shape, and I'm totally okay with cutting it out in a funky shape like that. If that gives you heart palpitations, then you're obviously not going to worry about that. But like I said, it works for me. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some chipboard stickers onto here just to give it a little bit of extra oomph. These are the I'd Rather Be Crafting chipboard stickers from Echo Park, so I thought that they were appropriate. Funny thing is, I don't use any of the crafting theme stickers. I just use the flowers, but that's okay. Oh, I lied. I did. I used that little ruler right there because I thought it needed something to span the title card with the definition paper. I felt like something needed to be there. So obviously, this little sucker right here is not doing what I want it to do, right? They're not sticking. That's what I meant. The little sucker's not sticking. So I go ahead and add some liquid adhesive because that will definitely make it stick. And then, of course, my little tag can't have a naked tag hole, so that sucker gets tied up into a bow. And then I'm going to journal about my cankles. So I get ridiculous cankles every time I go to retreat. I think it's a combination of the chair, which cuts off circulation, and I also don't have a little beanbag under my feet like I do at home, because I can sit all day here with my feet up on my beanbag and not have any bit of cankles, but I go to a retreat and do it, and bam, cankles. So that journaling gets put down there. And also, please, guys, make sure you check out all the links down below for everyone that is participating in this awesome new series. And let me just tell you, if you got small papers, go ahead and try to use them. Like, try. Just try. Just try it. That's all I'm asking. Just try it. And if you do, I would love to see what you make. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for joining. And I will see you guys again real soon for another video.